So this is the full transformation form, the A of f times x minus h, sorry, A of f of b times x minus h plus k. So let's talk about what mom is first. I see this big old jumble stream of letters and numbers here. I see a square in x. Mom is x squared, and mom's going to contain 0, 0, 1, 1, and negative 1, positive 1. Because you are supposed to graph the mom function, and then you're supposed to graph the child. Now there's lots of transformations. This negative symbol is going to be a vertical reflection. The 3 is a scale factor. It increases the scale of the vertical scale by 3. So vertical scale of 3. Then we have this 2. The 2 is on the inside, and B is going to be your horizontal compression or stretch. And the deal is if the absolute value of B is greater than 1, it's a compression. So we're cutting this thing in half widthwise, all right? So there is a horizontal compression. Scale of 2. And then we have the easy ones. We have right 1 up 3. It's supposed to be an R there. Right 1 up 3. Lots of things. Now, I'm going to manipulate this thing quite a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on maybe giving this exponent to both pieces. We have a rule that we talk about later on. It says a b to the x is a to the x, b to the x. So I can distribute that exponent in. And this will give me negative 3 times a 4, because 2 squared is 4, and it's no longer trapped inside a set of parentheses with x minus 1. And then I have x minus 1 quantity squared in m plus 3. And now I can do a little multiplication here, and I get negative 12 times x minus 1 quantity squared plus 3. So I have something that I can now graph, much easier than worrying about horizontal and vertical compressions and stretches. I just have an initial slope of negative 12. This is what this is. This is my initial slope. Let's see, I am rising 3 units. And I'm going right 1. So here's my new origin. And I'm going to fall 12 and run 1. So if I'm at 3, I'm going to fall to what? 9, 6, 9, and run 1. We get something that's very steep. And there you go. Her domain is still negative infinity to positive infinity. Her range is a little funny. It's negative infinity all the way up to what, 3? Or if you like set builder, all values of x such that x is less than or equal to 3. You can pick your poison on your domain range, which ones you like. It's entirely up to you. But that's how we're going to do this B transformation. We're going to figure out what it is, but then we're going to manipulate it into an A term. So let's see here. Let's do some more transformations here. We have a down 2. I'm not going to really write that out. We have a left 3. We are twice as wide. If the absolute value of B is less than 1, we have a horizontal stretch. And you'll see why in just a second. But yeah, we have a horizontal stretch. So we have a horizontal compression, horizontal stretch. And we have a reflection, that negative. I didn't even talk about if the B term was negative. That's another thing we got to work on. And, oh yeah, we have a vertical stretch. Lots and lots of things going on. Anyways, let's manipulate this, all right? We're going to distribute that square to both the 1/2 and the x plus 3. Now, I know that a half squared is a quarter. So let's just copy some stuff down. We have -4. There's the quarter. It's no longer trapped with x plus 3 squared. I am not going to figure out what x plus 3 squared is because I don't need to, because that would change the form. A -4 times a quarter, 4's cancel, is just -1. X plus 3, quantity squared minus 2. I forgot to draw mom, didn't I? This was x squared. Huh, they're both x squared that I did. How about that? Mom, 0, 0, 1, 1, -1, +1. And the kid is going to drop 2 and looks like what? Left 3. Drop 2. Left 3. The kid is centered right here. And my new initial slope, which is what this is to fall 1 and run 1. And here's the kid. It's about manipulation. It's the easiest way I know how to teach it. Domain is still -infinity to infinity. Whoops, messed that all up. I'm in a hurry. And the range would be, looks like -2 to, I'm doing that backwards, -infinity to -2. Or all values of y such that y is less than or equal to -2. And I need to check something. How do I write that on 4? That's supposed to be a y, isn't it? That's a y, not an x. Sorry about that. Come here. There we go. All right, on to the ACT stuff. The numbers 1 through 15 were each written on individual pieces of paper, one number per piece. Then the 15 pieces of paper were put in a jar. One piece of paper will be drawn from the jar at random. What is the probability of drawing a piece of paper with a number less than 9 on it? Less than 9 would be the numbers 1 through 8. 8 out of 15. It says less than 9. It doesn't say less than equal. It says less than. You gotta look for things like that. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to -4x cubed minus 12x cubed plus 9x squared? This is one of those, like, you don't miss. Like, if you miss this, like, you just don't have it. I mean, there's some descriptive words I could call you, but -4 and -12 is going to sound to be -16. And when we add or subtract, we don't add exponents. It doesn't become x to the 6. There's a reason choice K is there. Choice H is there is because kids do struggle with adding two negatives together. But the correct thing is J, obviously, right? You don't believe me? Push some buttons in a calculator. That's part of the problem. When x is 2, 10 plus 3 times 12 divided by 3x is what? So this is like a PEMDAS problem. Remember PEMDAS? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We do parentheses, when we do exponents, then we multiply and divide. Left to right, we add, subtract, left to right. So we got 10 plus 3 times 12 divided by 3x, 3 times 2, which is 6. What is that? Well, we're going to do PEMDAS. We're going to do parentheses first. 12 over 6 is 2, so 3 times 2. And then 10 plus that. Now 3 times 2 is 6. 10 plus 6 is 16. All day long. 4 is absolute value. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Absolute value is positive because it is distance from 0. Now we're going to do the math that's in here. This becomes 6 minus 4, the absolute value of 2, minus 3 minus 8, the absolute value of -5. It's not these signs that change. We do the operation, but it's going to be that sign. Now the absolute value is 2, and the absolute value of -5 is 5, and 2 minus 5 is -3. Choice H is there is because some kids get so focused on absolute value making things positive that they change the final answer. It's actually a good distractor. Kids' anxiety get up. They don't know how to test. They do silly things. Manish drove from Chicago to Baton Rouge. At 8 a.m., he was 510 kilometers from Baton Rouge. At 1 p.m., he was 105 kilometers from Baton Rouge. Which of the following values is close to Manish's average speed in kilometers per hour from 8 to 1? All right, so if we talk about time here, 8 to 1, 5 hours have passed. Oh, 8 to 1. I don't know if that needs any explanation. The distance, there's 400, looks like 5 kilometers, 510 minus 105. You know, if you got to do that, whatever. Okay, old school. But it looks like 405 kilometers traveled. So we're just going to take 405, we're going to divide it by 5, and he was moving pretty good. That's 81 kilometers per hour. Number 9, straight out of your geometry, your 10th grade year. The figures shown below, E and G lie on segment AC, D and F lie on segment AB. And let's see, we're told a whole bunch of things are parallel. A, B, D, E, and F, G. Oh, sorry. D, E, and F, G are parallel. What is the length of A to C? Now, there's a couple of different theorems that this thing is reminding me of, but I want all of AC. Since we have the parallel lines, we can use this little theorem here. And I believe it goes 8 is to 16 corresponding as 7 is to some unknown here. Now, you can kind of quickly see that the numbers are just doubling, and hopefully that works. But we cross multiply, or we can reduce first. A half is 7 to x. Cross multiply, x is 14. Seems a little big, but no, it seems reasonable, 16 to 14. And we can do the same thing, 8 is to 16, as 6 is to y. I haven't done this in a good 10 years. Reduce the fraction, 8/10 is 4/5, as 6 is to y. Then we do something called cross multiplication. 4y is, what, 30? That might not have been the right theorem. I should not have doubled. 8 is to 16. I'm an idiot. 1 is to 2 is 6 is to y. There we go. Cross multiply y is 12. And I want all of this. So 16 and 16 is 32 plus 12 is going to be an answer that's not there. Interesting. Sorry, 16 and 14 is 30. Add 12 is 42. I've got to wake up. I'm struggling this morning. These are the easy ones. The expression 4c minus 3d times 3c plus d is equivalent to, you know, most of you kids just know this is FOIL. That's what you know it as. It's just got c's instead of x's. 4 times 3 is 12. C times c is c squared. 4c times d is going to be plus 4cd. That's kind of funny. Negative 3d times 3c is going to be negative 9. We'll say cd because a word doesn't really matter on letters. And then negative 3d times d would be minus 3d squared. And these pieces in the middle can be put together, and they'd make a minus 5, so choice C. Of the 180 students in a college course, a quarter of the students earn an A. So I take 180, I divide it by 4, I think I get 45 A's. A third of the students earn a B, so 180 divided by 3 is 60 B's. And the rest earn a C, so there's 105 here. 180 minus 105 is 75 C's. How many, oh, geez, I just answered the question. Choice F, 75 kids got a C. Easy peasy. 7, the number of fish F in Skipper's Pond at the beginning of each year can be modeled by the equation. Exponential growth, 3 times 2 to the x, where x represents the number of years after the beginning of the year 2000. For example, x equals 0 represents the year 2000, 1 is 2001, and so forth. According to the model, how many fish were in Skipper's Pond at the beginning of 2006? So if we're talking about 2006, x is 6, because we can read this text up here and follow along, I think. Let's double check that. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. Yes, I held up 6 fingers. I counted with my fingers just to make sure. So f of 6 years, I'm just letting this x be 6, is 3 times 2 to the 6th. 2 to the 6th ought to be 64. That's 3 times 64. Double check that. Yeah, I'm good with that. And 364 is going to be 192. He has 192 little fishies. Choice B. 12. In a standard XY coordinate plane, the point 2, 1 is the midpoint of C to D. Point C has coordinates 6 to 8. What are the coordinates of point D? This is not midpoint formula. You have something called C to D, and the middle is at 2, 1, and it's smack dab in the middle. I know that C is 6, 8. Now, every teacher should have taught you this. It's about what you lose. From 6 to 2, you lose 4. You expect to keep losing 4. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. From 8 to 1, you lose 7. You expect to keep losing 7. 1 minus 7 is negative 6. Choice G. 13. At his job, the first 40 hours of each week that Thomas works is regular time, and any additional time that he works is overtime. How was 13 of those things so quick? Something's weird about that. Oh, I've gone out of order. That's what's weird about it. At his job, the first 40 hours of each week that Thomas works is regular time. Any additional time that he works is overtime. Thomas gets paid $15 per hour during regular time, and during overtime, he gets 1.5 times as much. Time and a half is common. Thomas works 40 hours in a week and gets $117 in deductions taken out of his pay for the week. After the deductions are taken out, how much of Thomas's pay remains? So let's think about his total pay. It's going to be 40 times 15, which is going to be, what, 600? That seems right. And then he's got time and a half. He's got 6 hours of time and a half, which is 6 times 15 times 1.5. Now, 1.5 times 6 is 9. 9 times 15 is $135. So his total is going to be $735. He has deductions of what, 117? So we just do a little subtraction there. 600 and what, $18? Yeah, 618. Choice D. There you go. There's your ACT and 2 of the homework problems on the front page. I hope you enjoyed. You probably didn't, because I mean, you're watching math videos. Might put you to sleep. It's an idea.